Montreal, Canada. Its 3.5 million inhabitants are used to extremely severe winters. They have no choice, as bitterly cold temperatures and heavy snowfalls of as much as 15 inches at a time vary the city. This city...
Bro, what's the problem? This feels like a dream. Like, this completely feels like my dreams. Like, when I go to sleep and I think of, like, winter in the north, like, guys, I grew up in Long Island, New York, right? I mean, I was there during the blizzard of 95, where you basically had to jump out of the second window to get outside your door, guys. Right? So that's what I always go to in my head, right? When I'm like, listen, this is the place I want to, like, retire in. I want to retire in a super snowy place where the snow is just completely out of hand and disrespectful. And this sounds like the snow is out of hand and disrespectful, and I'm absolutely intrigued.
Knows bad weather. But there is one kind of winter storm that is the toughest to beat: the ice storm.
So Montreal has got its first forecast of freezing rain. This is all ice. This is absolutely surreal. Look at this. Holy crap. Wow. Everything just gets covered in like centimeter thick layer of ice. I went way further than I expected. Whoa. That is too satisfying. I'm never going to get sick of that.
Ice storms are created by atmospheric circumstances that are so unique they seem impossible.
That's impossible. That video you just showed me of snow going backwards is impossible, bro.
Atmospheric circumstances that are so unique they seem impossible. Unlike New York, just 300 miles to the south, Montreal gets hit by freezing rain an average of 10 days per year.
Oh, then that's why you have the ice storm. I'm guessing the temperature is below zero, not absolute zero, but like 0 Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you're obviously going to get some like ice, right? You're going to get snow that sticks. But my concern here is that it does look like it's snowing, but then at the same time, if it's ice, then how's that even happening, bro? Is it raining slightly, or like a slight drizzle that's hitting the snow itself, and then the snow is freezing a thin layer of ice above it? Maybe?
The reasons are location and geography. When warm air from the south meets cold northern air, this creates the ideal conditions above Montreal
for a tornado
or extreme winter weather. And because Montreal lies in the midst of the St. Lawrence River Valley, the situation is intensified. As this warm air from the south rides up over the surrounding mountains.
Oh, blizzards are amazing. I'm sorry. Listen, I understand some people hate these things, but I love blizzards. I hate tornadoes. Like when they're outside of like when it's not winter weather and it's a tornado, no thank you. I never want to experience that again in my life, guys. I never do, right? But a blizzard, I kind of like a blizzard. I like heavy snow.
Mountains. It traps the cold polar air in the valley below. As the warm air rises, it releases rain, which falls through the cold layer. The perfect amount of cold air then supercools the rain, causing it to be cold enough to freeze the moment it hits the ground. The longer these conditions...
Bro, I should be like a meteorologist or something like that, bro. I'm telling you. No, I shouldn't. That was just a lucky guess, I think, guys.
...remain, the more severe the weather becomes. So if the perfect ice storm were to strike, it would begin on a January day in the skies above Montreal.
It's just surreal, like the entire city just coated with ice. This is honestly so much fun.
Ice storms are not unusual in Canada, coating the landscape with a beautiful shroud of ice.
Ice formation generally ranges from a trace to 1 inch in accumulation.
But in January 1998, Canada was hit by a storm that was anything but usual.
In 1998, Montreal suffered the most disastrous, tragic, and expensive ice storm in recorded history.
Even for people who grew up in Canada in the eastern part of the country, where winter they take pretty much for granted, have never seen anything quite like this.
The damage here is staggering.
Montreal seems like a city truly under siege tonight as thousands of troops move in on a mission of mercy. In Quebec alone, more than 1 million households. That's up to about 3...
Never mind. I don't want this. This right here, I don't want this. No chance, bro. Does this still happen? That's the question.
3 million people.
There is another place near Lake Erie, specifically the city of Erie, Pennsylvania, that this does happen to like every single year. But I think that this and Lake Erie's yearly ice disasters are probably like right here, bro. I think they're pretty much even.
Left without electricity.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. I never would have.
Bro, are you out here driving a front-wheel drive Dodge Voyager?
About 3 million people left without electricity.
I've never seen.
Oh no, a front-wheel drive Honda Civic. All right.
Anything like this in my life.
Bro, where are you going with that?
I never would imagine that something like this could happen. I'm freaking out.
The 98 ice storm was Canada's worst natural disaster, affecting over 5.4 million people, or 1/5 of the country's population.
Virtually no one east of Ottawa has power tonight.
The storm blanketed an area larger than the state of Florida, 120 miles by 600 miles.
This is the largest storm event in NYSEG's history. We suffered damage to our electric lines
all
to the
of that
tune
was gonna
of
fall.
about 1,850 miles. One of our engineers equated to a trip from here to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Over 5 days, multiple layers of ice built up because of the relentless freezing rain that weighed down everything it touched.
During the ice storm in a 5-day period, we had 80 hours of freezing rain that produced 100 millimeters of ice. That's a lot of ice all at one time.
Bro, translate that for me. 100 millimeters. Bro, what? Go ahead. I'm waiting for it in the comments. What is that? All right. I'm pretty good with now centimeters, meters, Celsius. Right. I'm solid with that. But never tell me anything in the millimeters, bro. Okay. So it's 0.1 of a meter. Okay.
Eventually, the city's infrastructure began to collapse.
When you saw electrical pylon
that's a lot of ice, bro.
Suddenly buckle in front of your eyes, you knew right away this was going to be major problems.
Yeah, bro, 4 inches of ice on like those the wires, yeah, those were mandatory. That was going to snap. 100% that was going to snap.
Total write-off. I mean, we're not talking a repair job, it's a total rebuild.
4 million people lost power.
Right.
Oh my God.
A devastating scene across the Champlain Valley and beyond. Thick ice, more than 3 inches in some spots, coating everything.
Over 17 million acres of forest were damaged in northern New England and upstate New York. Some trees carried 40 times their weight in ice.
And across the border, they were devastated. Montreal got hit hard.
Montrealers were burning the wood off their front porches and fireplaces in some cases that hadn't been used for 50 years.
And we saw an incredible sight, these huge power lines that people see driving from the border north to Montreal. Just absolutely
bent right over.
Amazing sight.
And Quebec stayed that way for quite a while.
After the storm, 3,000
Bro, how much damage did this cost? Like, how much in money?
kilometers of power lines were destroyed at a cost of over $800 million.
The economic impact of the storm has been devastating. Insurance companies now estimate they'll pay homeowners $500 million to repair their property, making this the most expensive natural disaster in Canadian history.
So what you're saying is that the insurance currently, homeowners insurance in Canada is absolutely crazy. That's basically what I just heard here. If this was the first time this happened large scale, you know that the insurance companies obviously had to recoup in some way, and they did that by basically raising all of the insurance rates. That's unfortunate, bro. Right? Like, you're probably still paying for this disaster right now. That's it. All right, guys, listen. I think this could be one of the worst ice storms I've seen. I'm still trying to see if it's like on par with Erie, but I do think that it's probably right there, guys. It's there. I would have not wanted to been anywhere near here at that time. And what's funny is I think I was probably a couple of 100 miles away from here at that time. 98, I think so. Let me show you what I'm talking about, though, guys. Lake Erie. Was it ice tsunami? Is that what it's called? No. No, not an ice tsunami. Ice. Because I know Lake Erie suffers from something extremely similar to that, bro. We're probably gonna have to cut this one out. But it's this here. Oh, this is not Erie. Hamburg, New York. Is this Hamburg, New York or Erie, bro? Lake Erie, homes covered? Wait a second, bro. Wait a second. Lake Erie in Hamburg, New York. Okay, whatever. It's going to be similar. All right, let's. But this is what I'm talking about, though, guys. And so, like this happens extremely often. Like for any city or town that's super close to like Lake Erie, guys. And it does feel like what happened in Montreal was probably something like this. And that's crazy, bro. I never want to experience this. And this is probably the reason why, Erie is an extremely, cheap place to reside in. It's probably because people don't want to deal with it. Bro, imagine you are at home and then for some reason overnight you wake up and you can't get outside your house because your house looks like this now, bro. That's terrifying, bro. Yeah, bro. I never want to encounter Sharknado. That Sharknado is not for me, bro. It is absolutely not. It happens this year. Lost power for 4 days, but you lost power for a month in your area. Wow, bro. That's crazy. Sniper Wolf would have paid it in 1 month's revenue. I mean, not really, but yes, I'm just going to say it because that's how I feel right now. Right? I mean, yeah, she makes a crazy amount of money. I mean, it's good for her. I mean, no, I'm not trying to pocket watch anyone. It's great that you're making money like that, guys, but it's a little crazy regardless. But